Just take a look at this new damage over time buff we got in Helldivers. I mean, it's not the initial damage, but it's those damage ticks that have really been juiced up, and that's just one of the many changes we got with this latest update. Welcome to the channel. This is LtBuzzLitebeer, and besides all those recent game changes, which I'm going to be breaking down for you in just a moment, we've also got Arrowhead's CEO leaning into this Unity Day theme, complete with a matching cape. Review scores are slowly returning to normal, and a message along with a bit of concern surrounding Sony, so stay tuned for that one. As always, thank you so much for your awesome support. Remember to hit subscribe and to ring that notifications bell to receive my latest upload alerts, and let's just jump straight into it. Really quickly, checking in on the current major order, we have exactly 3 days to go to liberate those 4 planets. Now, Heath looks like it's going to be the first to get there, sitting at nearly 84% liberated right now. Angel's Venture is about 25% complete. Veld is way far behind at about 6%, and Akamar 4 is literally still at 0%. Today's daily order is to net 100 kills with the Eagle Strafing Run, which is a decent stratagem overall, especially against the bugs, if you can land it right in the middle of a mob without them seeing you first. Get those 100 kills, bag the 15 medals, and try to stockpile for Thursday when the next War Bond releases. Who wants a badass cape to commemorate our victory on May the 6th, now being dubbed Unity Day for all Helldivers? And we saw this a few days ago when Johan tweeted about this accidental cape design based on the negative Steam review trend lines, but it looks like the community has really kicked us up and taken it a step further, coming up with their very own designs, including this one with the lines and the bombs attached to the bottom. That's just brilliant. There's also this other one that I used for today's thumbnail. Credit goes to MJBGA04 and their Reddit post, and they've called their design the Prodigal Son. I mean, any which way this arrives in the game, it's damn awesome to see, and I would just equip this cape and never change it out. I love this concept that much. Helldivers got a new update earlier today with some huge changes in it, and these are buffs for weapons and damage in general. Update 1.000.302 dropped early this morning, and for me on PC, it was about 366 megs in size, so overall not that bad. But I will say that I'm seeing my game crash a lot more now that this patch has gone live. I load into a mission, I'm planet side, I get my strats called in and start running to the first objective, and the game just starts stuttering really bad, and then it just crashes back to Steam. The first big change comes to the R9 Eruptor, which overall was already super strong. Well, now it's even stronger as the explosion damage has been raised by 40, while the shrapnel from the explosions has been completely removed. Now, this was done because we were seeing players get one-shotted, and at first this was thought to be due to that new ricochet effect that was installed in the last patch, but it turned out to be the shrapnel that was bouncing from the targets back at the Helldivers, and it was strong enough to insta-kill them. I tried out the Eruptor this morning post-patch, and unfortunately I don't have any footage for you, but it does feel even stronger now than before, netting even more AoE kills on the smaller chaff than I remember. The second massive change is that they've now fixed DOT, or damage over time, because in the past, this was only in effect if you were the session host. But now, and by the way, I just got out of a few sessions testing it out for myself, well, this thing is fixed. So for anyone that loves to main the flamethrower, napalm, eagle strikes, thermite grenades, you know, that sort of thing, you've now got even more reason to use these items. But let's be clear here, this is not a buff to fire damage strength, so it isn't like your flamethrower is going to do bonus damage on the initial burst of fire that hits the target. That's going to stay the same. It's just that now, once a target, you know, the ground, a huge mob, whatever, now that they're set on fire, they're going to take additional damage as the fire applies those damage over time ticks to those targets. Also, that crazy one-off issue of killing yourself while using a shield gen backpack and the Punisher plasma shotgun has been sorted out, along with some weapon scopes now being properly aligned in first-person view. Now, sadly, the notes don't say which weapons have had this misalignment sorted out. There's also several fixes here to lock us out from landing on top of those tall rocks and TCS towers in specific missions, which I know some of you love to do. I hit the random matchmaker all the time. I drop in and there's like one or two of you sitting way up in the clouds dropping death down from above. Also, check this one out. Major orders with kill task objectives will now track scores properly. Previously, the game counted the entire squad's kills once for each player, meaning it would multiply the kill counts by the number of members in the squad, which is probably how we knocked out that 2 billion bugs killed major order so damn fast. Anyways, that's now been fixed, and we'll only count the totals and not multiply them by the number of squad members. Check this next one out. Shriekers and Gunships just got a buff as well, and I honestly don't know why either of these deserved even more strength, but it says that their sight and hearing have been slightly increased. Weird wording here, by the way, but it feels like they're trying to say that their aggro range has been increased, which I think is mental. Those damn Shriekers seem to be able to pick you up a mile away, but Arrowhead felt they needed even more help, so be on the lookout for anything that flies. We've also got 9 social menu fixes in today's update for things like Steam Friends List being visible in the social menu and unblocking players that were not in your friends list beforehand. You know, basically, some of these odd and very specific issues with the friends list are beginning to be sorted out. Arrowhead also stuffed in 10 crash fixes for things like crashing at the end of cutscenes or when diving into missions, alt-tabbing, which I use a whole hell of a lot, and some other general crash fixes. Stability has and continues to be a major issue with Helldivers, and anytime more and more of this can be handled, I'm all for it. Unfortunately, and you can see from the list of known issues now up on the screen, things like that crazy issue of calling in reinforcements but the game never allowing them to deploy, arc weapons misfiring, the continued spear lock-on issues, and even that damn bouncing hellbomb issue are still up there on the list. I know we all love new content. I mean, we've got the new Warbond dropping in a few days, but I would love to see 1 or 2 of these marked off the list each week. Alright, jumping over to Steam, and as quickly as the Helldiver player base can take something away, we can also make it reappear, and just take a look at how many positive reviews have started streaming back in for the game. It's not back to pre-Sony levels, and it may never get back to that point, but it's still good to see the game getting back kind of onto its feet. Recent reviews were sitting at overwhelmingly negative, but have now bounced back to mixed. And yeah, your eyes are not deceiving you. That says over 323,000 recent reviews, which is absurd. To me, that says don't piss off the Helldivers, right? Overall, the game is now back to mostly positive, with over 600,000 reviews logged, which just goes to show you how strong the PC community is with Helldivers. But not every diver is on board with getting back to spreading managed democracy, and after nearly 260 hours logged in the game, I finally saw my first blatant griefer last night, and unfortunately, I wasn't recording at the time. They dropped in, typed something in chat like, F you if you support Sony, and F you for not supporting the game. Honestly, I was a bit baffled. And then they proceeded to start team killing me and the rest of the squad the moment we hit Planetside. It was all really weird, and since I was the party host, I had them kicked in less than 5 seconds. But be forewarned out there, divers, there are some salty divers out there right now, and they are not concerned with friend or foe, just as long as they can stir up as much trouble as humanly possible. Now, there are some rumblings within the community that this is not yet over with Sony. And, by the way, I happen to side with this idea, although I'm not currently running around with a full tinfoil hat. Twinbeard popped into the Helldiver Discord and dropped a wall of text, but the main topic was the Sony linking issue. Quote, "We don't have any updated information about the account linking yet, particularly of anything related to players outside PSN regions. To clarify, and per Sony's earlier statement, mandatory account linking will not be going forward. And then there's some more information here about how discussions are still ongoing between the two parties. For context, here's the latest on some of the issues with what happened over this past weekend with Sony. Players in those regions that were delisted, so those were players that could not buy the game, are still sitting at that status. So if you were in one of those 177 countries that did not have access to PSN and were then removed from buying the game on Steam, I'm seeing posts by those players from those regions saying that they still cannot buy the game. Also, and I dropped this into yesterday's video, but the disclosures on Steam requiring a PSN linked account have not been removed. Now, I'm not trying to stoke the anger of the pitchfork-waving hordes, at least not yet, but aside from the statement from PlayStation Network, which came late Sunday, early Monday, as far as I can see, nothing has actually changed here. Arrowhead still does not know definitively what is going to happen, outside of Sony telling them that the mandatory portion of linking accounts will not be happening. But that leaves a huge amount of gray area for other things to happen. What exactly? I honestly don't know, but if playing Helldivers has taught us anything, it's that our enemies just don't mount a single attack, get stopped, and then throw up their hands, give up, and say, oh well. The bots, the bugs, they reorganize, they get smarter, they try different strategies. And if you just take that and apply it to Sony and PlayStation, well, you do the math. The obvious change here would be to just go into Steam, delete the PSN requirement tag, and wipe their hands of everything, but as of yet, that hasn't happened. And we are several days removed from Sony's tweet. Could we be looking down the barrel of round 2, round 3, 4, etc.? I mean, it's not confirmed, but as Helldivers, our community needs to expect and count on Sony trying to get there via another route. Let me know where you stand on the recent gameplay changes, that awesome cape design, and if you feel like it, weigh in on Sony and PlayStation. Remember to hit subscribe and to ring that notifications bell to receive my latest upload alerts. All my socials, including an open invite link to my fast-growing Helldivers Discord community, can be found in the video description below. We are nearly there. 225,000 subscribers is right around the corner, and I wanted to thank each and every one of you for tuning in and supporting my content. Until the next one, this is LtBuzzLitebeer signing off.